I have been meaning to do a tutorial on Kindle Create for a while now, and this seemed like as good a time as any. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Mary Kate M.K. Williams, and I love sharing my insights about all things books and publishing with you. Before I get into the details of today's topic, don't forget to hit subscribe. You'll be notified every week when I put out new videos about publishing, make a career being an author, and not being a mompreneur. So, for authors who self publish their books, or specifically self publish their ebooks on Amazon KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, you can upload your Microsoft Word doc or .docx files. For a while, back when I was self publishing a decade ago in the Stone Ages, it had to be .doc, but now you can also do .docx. Or you can upload two other file types. So, with Amazon KDP, you can upload Microsoft Word document, an ePub file, or a KPF file. This is a change. So, effective March 2025, KDP is not going to allow Mobi files in their system anymore. So, for those of you who are brand new to self publishing, this shouldn't matter. But there are a lot of articles, videos, and guidebooks out there that still talk about the Mobi file type. So, we're going to do a quick little history lesson, okay? So Mobi is short for Mobipocket. When you are setting up your ISBN in Bowker, this still shows up as an option for your ebook. I would hope most of the ebook formatting services out there know to not offer this anymore because it is obsolete, but you're still going to see it out there. So Mobi or Mobipocket was an ebook reflowable format that Amazon created for Kindle. It was only for Amazon. I think maybe one other service provider used it just because it was used for Kindle. It was popular, but um, it was really only for the Kindle and Kindle devices, maybe a few others. Everywhere else accepted EPUB files, also reflowable, just a different file type. So last year in 2024, maybe even 2023, Amazon stopped accepting Mobi files. So they said no more uploads with this file type. If it's uploaded already, fine, but like from now on, just .doc files or .docx files, EPUBs, and KPF files. That's all that's allowed. Well, as of March of 2025, KDP is saying any old uploads. So again, if you've been publishing for a while, any old uploads with Mobi files have to be replaced with an EPUB, a KPF, or a .doc file. Okay, so that's our history lesson. Okay, so now that you know all about Mobi, forget everything about it because you should never ever use it again. So the doc file, you're probably like, okay, like I know Microsoft Word, I know what that is, I know what those files are. I get that. If I upload it, it'll convert to what it needs to be in the KDP system, and it may not be perfect, right? If your book is all text, it really should be fine. But if you have any tables or images, it's not going to look right, okay? So then at that point, you really want EPUB, a reflowable file, or KPF. Now you're probably thinking, MK, what is a KPF? We keep talking about KPF. What is it? So KPF is one of two output options for Kindle Create. So as an author, you can download Kindle Create, okay? Have it on your desktop, upload your .doc file, and you get a KPF file or an EPUB file. Okay, you can upload a PDF and get one of those outputs as well. So the only time I've used this before was with a book that was primarily text, but it had illustrations. So it got a little funky. Now, if you're an author on a tight budget and you only have text on your book, if it's a novel or a short story or even a nonfiction book without graphs or charts or tables, I think Kindle Create could be a good option for you. If you have anything other than text, I recommend working with a formatter to get your ebook looking sharp because, again, like this is kind of like a self-service platform. So even though you can get the KPF or the EPUB from Kindle Create, like it's it's not going to get everything 100% the way you perfectly envisioned your book versus if you're working with a formatter and you can say, oh, I wish this was here. I wish this looked like this. Okay. So now I'm actually going to walk you through how to upload, how to set up a book in Kindle Create and what all the different options are. Okay. Okay. Re-recording this with audio this time. So the very first thing you need to do in order to create a KPF or an EPUB file with Kindle Create is to download Kindle Create. If you just Google Kindle Create, the very first page that will come up in your Google search is Getting Started with Kindle Create from Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP. It gives you nice jump links to all of the details and questions you might have if I don't already answer them in this tutorial, but the very first one you'll see is to download either for your PC or Mac. I have already done this. As I said, I am re-recording this tutorial because my audio didn't record, so I've already downloaded it. You know what it's like to download a program on your computer, so we're just going to skip. As you can see, I already made a test file. I'm going to go ahead and click Create New again. and be able to create a new test file just to show you. I don't plan on actually using this. When you go to create a new file, you are going to see several options. One is reflowable. This is what you're mainly going to use if you wrote a novel, primarily all text. You wrote a nonfiction book that is all text, that does not really have any images, tables, or graphs in it. This is what you want. As you can see under compatible devices, it is compatible for the most devices possible, which is really great. Now, if you have graphic novels or comics or something that has a lot of illustrations with kids' books, you're going to pick one of these other options. And as you can see, the compatible options narrow, and that is going to show up when somebody goes to purchase the ebook on Amazon Kindle. It will show like a red flag that it can only be purchased for certain devices. That is why I don't love using Kindle Create or a KPF file for comics or manga or for children's illustrated books, because it is going to limit who can access it. Now you also have print replica. The example they're giving here is like for a magazine or a PDF. There are a lot of people who are on Etsy doing printables. Like printable PDFs, checklists, things like that. They don't really have a great corollary for Amazon. So I've seen people try to do it this way, but the downside is, again, you're limited to even fewer devices. So I think if you want to sell a PDF, go to Etsy, go somewhere else. Like I really don't think Kindle's your option, but it is an option here on Kindle Create. So you're aware of that. All right, but what I'm going to do today is a standard reflowable text-based book. So now I'm going to click back up to reflowable, and I'm going to click continue. Right, my book title is going to be example. Example. Now I cannot hit tab to get down to this next field. I have to click into it. Okay, choose file. Okay. So it's going to pull in everything from the Word doc. Now I could still take that exact Word doc and upload it to Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing or KDP, and it would automatically do things. But with this, you have a bit more formatting control over the ePub file. Okay, so looking at all this is looking at all of my headings. I'm going to say these are not headings. Thank you. Okay. So I can go through really quickly and say this is not a heading, this is not a heading. Now some of these are subheadings, and I'm going to show you how I can distinguish a subheading. Um, yeah, okay. Accept. Okay. So as you can see, if it has like the yellow, it's normal text, introduction. So what I'm going to do is this is the beginning of the very first chapter. So the next piece of information isn't a new chapter. So I'm going to make that a subtitle. And over on the far right under elements on the page, there's chapter title, chapter subtitle. I just clicked that, and now you can see this designation went from bolded to now it has this little yellow next to it, meaning it is not a header file. Okay, now I can go through and do that for every single one of these. A little tedious. So again, not all the formatting from my Microsoft Word translated in here as I might have liked. Even though I uploaded my Word document directly to KDP the last time I published a version of this book, and it was totally fine. Now, one thing I like to do, as you notice, every time I click it, it kind of jumps over here on this left screen. I like to go to the very bottom and work upwards, and then I don't have to worry as much about scrolling down, scrolling up. It actually is naturally just kind of scrolling up for me. And that makes me happy. Now I am planning some revisions, so as we go through, you'll see it'll have like a little note like MKW on there. Like, see here, I still have notes on my Word document. So if you have edits or comments left in your Word document that have not been resolved, your final draft isn't a final draft. You need to go in and do those if you see that. But again, this is for the sake of demonstration. I'm not actually going to publish this. So all of that is done. I like the way it looks. I'm happy with it. Now, one of the things I can do is I can change the theme up here on this top ribbon. Classic Cosmos. or a more. Those are your options. Now, if you have a very specific style for your book that you want, what I've heard is that Atticus has far more options. I am going to be testing Atticus later this year and doing a tutorial on that. So if you are very particular, very picky, you want a different theme that is not here, pay for Atticus or work with a formatter. Again, if you are very budget conscious, Kindle Create can get the job done for you. If you have a very specific design vision, you're probably going to need to invest elsewhere. Okay. Okay. Now over on this far right, as you can see, that's where I was changing the titles and subtitles. You can do a few other standard elements of if you have a block quote, a separator, you need to give credit on an opening quote, things like that. But it is very limited. And then I can save. Last time I was doing this, it actually gave me a nice little reminder, like, did you need to save this? And I was like, yes, I did in the middle of the tutorial, and it was beautiful. Because you should always be hitting save. All right, then you're going to preview. You should always preview. If you are self-publishing, you are the publisher. So you need to double check and click through every page again, even if you already clicked through everything in the body, to make sure that everything is in there correctly. Now, what's interesting here, that I noticed over here, it says front matter and body. So I wonder, can I click this up into the front matter? No, is it not going to let me do that? Okay, so I'm gonna click preview. Now the nice thing is you can look at it as if it's a tablet, a phone, or a Kindle e-reader. I suggest kind of looking at all of those. So something obviously is off in my table of contents. I'm gonna need to go figure that out. After you go in, now in this case, there was something that I needed to change on the Word document that again is still in editing. So go back to your Word document and you may have to re-upload it or edit it because that was why that was not working correctly for me. But now as you can see on the side, things are looking better. You click through every single page to make sure it looks correctly, if there are links, if the links work, etc. And then once you're good with it, you like how it looks, you clicked through every page, you're going to exit your preview and you're going to hit export. Okay. Now the default is that it's going to let you download a KPF, which is just for Kindle KDP. It does say for print, which is interesting. I would not use it for print. I would use a PDF for print because a KPF is a reflowable file, and for print, you need a static file. And then it gives you the option for ePub. I would always select ePub. Say you're going into this and you're using Kindle Create because you only plan to be on Amazon Kindle through KDP. You're going to do KU, Kindle Unlimited, or Kindle Select. You don't plan on having the ebook anywhere else. That's well and good. Things may change down the line. You might decide, okay, I'm going to exit that contract. I'm going to go wide. And you just have to open this file again and download your ePub. But if you can do it now, why not do it now? Why not just have that as a backup so you have all your files in one place? So then you're going to click that. You're going to click export. It gives me the same file where I opened from. I'm going to say yes, export. Let's just put this in here. For example. And now it is exporting. Yay. Show me the files. Okay, so now it's kind of saved all within this folder of this working file from Kindle Create with all of the exports. So that's really nice. And that's what you do. And now you would be ready to take that KPF or ePub file and upload it to Kindle Create. All right, and that's how to use Kindle Create. Hopefully this was helpful in you deciding if this is a route you're going to go with your ebook for self-publishing it on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, or if you're like, no, I'm gonna go with a pro. They're gonna do it for me. Okay. What other questions do you have about Kindle Create, Kindle Direct Publishing, Amazon KDP, formatting your ebook? Drop them below. That's literally where I find ideas for my next videos. And if you found this information helpful, this tutorial helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, or maybe hit that shiny new thanks button that tells YouTube you got value from this information, and now they can get it in front of other authors like us. Then you can get back to writing your book.